Alright, so here we are, getting towards the end of our film now, and Bennett crosses sabers, or however you want to call it, with Henry here. Hits it, there's some sparks, and what should really happen is this little end here should get cut off and kind of fall to the ground. So to do that, we're going to duplicate this layer right here and use some of the background, like in this area, to cover over that stick so it looks like it's been chopped off. And we're going to make another duplicate of just the end here so that we can animate that just kind of popping off and spinning on the way down. Okay? So first, we're going to duplicate this right where it hits. Now we're going to get rid of all this stuff in the way, so we're going to just click on the eyeballs there so it all kind of just goes away. And on MVI 055, we're going to duplicate that, so we do Control D on the keyboard, or you can go to Edit and Duplicate. So duplicate that. And I don't need this stuff at the beginning, so I'm just going to drag that back to the line here and line it up with that. If I hold Shift, it automatically snaps to that line. Alright, so now I'm going to take some of this background material here and cover this up. Okay, but there's kind of a problem. I can't use this stuff right here because it's a little bit different color. So what I'm going to actually do is, so right about there, there's some clean color that I can use to cover over that. So I remove a few frames, and now I'm going to make a mask by clicking on the pen tool. So I'm going to grab some like that, and you see how it covers up right there? I'm going to adjust these points so it covers up that end of the stick. I need to animate this so it actually follows with it as it goes. So I'm going to go down to MVI, the first one here, and actually I'm going to right click and rename that. We'll call that the cover. We're going to go down to masks, and we're going to open up masks, and we're going to go to transform, and under transform, under mask 1 actually, under mask 1 we're going to do the mask path, and we're going to click on the stopwatch there. And we're going to animate this as well. So right there is where it gets cut. And we're going to click page down. I'm going to just cover that up there. And page down. I'm just moving these points here. Page down. Page down. Page down. Page down. Page down. Page down. Until we get to the end of the scene, which is right about here anyway. And I'm going to take this work area bar here, and I'm going to slide that to the end because I don't really need all that. And so when I render it, it's just going to render to this. So it's going to be boom, hits that, and then it goes away. Alright, now we want to get that little end that kind of flips off, and we're going to do that by duplicating the original layer. So this one in the back here, we're going to do Control D, and we're going to rename that. We'll call this the little end or something. That should be enough. The little end. I'm going to put this in front of the color, and I'm just going to duplicate this little piece here. But I want to get it right about there, so I can just isolate that piece. Now I just want this one frame here, because I'm actually going to animate this. So I actually want this frame to stop, like right there. So here's how you do that. We're going to go to Layer, Time, Enable Time Remapping, and then I'm going to click on the Add Keyframe here. I'm going to change this to a stop keyframe. So toggle hold keyframe. And I'm going to delete this keyframe on the end here. And the beginning keyframe here. So now it's just this one frame for this whole time. So I can just select zoom in. I'm going to just select right around here. Maybe move that in just a touch closer. And in the timeline here, I'm going to take this because I don't need this either. And right there, it's going to get chopped off, and it's going to flip in the air and kind of fall out of screen, because that's what would really happen if he was noob trying to fight a lightsaber with a broom. What were you thinking, Henry? Alright, so I need to open up the transform options under the little end here. So I'm going to go here, going to go to transform, and I'm going to do, now before I click any of this, I need to make the anchor point right in the center there. It's just going to make things easier. So right here, this pan behind tool, this weird kind of looking 4 arrow button here, that's where I can take this center point here. I'm going to put it right in the middle there. It's just going to make it easier to make it rotate if I put the anchor point in the center. So now I can begin animating by clicking on position, and I'm going to do some rotation. So right here, I'm going to animate, and it's going to go up. So I'm going to change the position. It's going to go up, and then it's going to go down. What goes up must come down. And it's going to fall right out of frame. I'm just clicking the second number here, clicking and dragging on that, which is the Y position. If we just give it a little look. So it looks a little weird. You'll have to play with the timing and the spacing of these frames on the position area in order to kind of get it to look more accurate. And I'm going to add a little rotation here too. So it's at 0, and when it falls to the ground, it's going to do 2 whole revolutions. That should look pretty good. We'll just look at that a couple of times. It's best to shorten your work area here and then just look at it, see if it looks real. Not quite timed right, and it probably over rotates a little bit much. That's looking a little bit better. And I'm going to highlight these keyframes and hold Alt on the keyboard and just bring them closer together here. That doesn't look right either. Spread that one out. Bring this back in a little bit. That's looking better. Now I can go ahead and turn on those other things and watch it again and see if I like it. I see a little bit of a timing issue. Kind of flies in the air a little bit too soon. So I'm gonna, I got a couple of frame difference here between the cover and this. So I'm actually just gonna back up this layer, the little end layer, so it matches up with that, and see if that helps. oh, that's a little bit better. So play with the timings a little bit until you get it right. Otherwise, that's how you cover it up and make it look real good. And that should complete the lightsaber